As an 8-year cancer survivor, here is everything that I did to beat ovarian cancer. In this video, I'm sharing with you my exact supplement routine, my stress reduction practices, my exercise routine, and the exact treatments that I received to get to cancer-free and stay cancer-free. Let's dig in. First, let's start with my morning routine. How you set up your day is critical for cancer prevention. In the morning, you've been fasting all night, not drinking anything or eating anything. So this is an incredibly vulnerable time of day. You need to use your time wisely. The first thing that you should be doing is rehydrating. Before you eat, you need to start with a full glass of water. I also like to include electrolytes in my hydration first thing in the morning. My favorite is Liquid IV. I'm linking it up below. The next thing that you should be doing is focusing on a breakfast that's high in protein. Many people eat a breakfast that's high in carbohydrates, things like toast or cereal. But when you've been fasting all night, your blood sugar is very sensitive. So if you eat a breakfast that's high in carbohydrates, you're gonna get a blood sugar spike and a subsequent crash. This is why so many cancer survivors have low energy later in the day. If you fuel yourself with carbohydrates first thing in the morning, then your blood glucose is gonna have that spike and you're gonna have the subsequent valley. Instead, you wanna do something that's gonna be a little bit more gentle on your blood sugar. Something that's digested a little bit slower. This is protein. Start with something like egg whites or an omelet. Make sure you're getting a large amount of protein with minimal carbohydrates first thing in the morning. The next thing is to start your day with movement. Every morning I'm doing some kind of movement, whether it's walking or strength training. This is gonna look different depending on where you are in your recovery. But no matter where you're at, you need to know your body is meant to move. Even if you're immediately post-surgery, you still need to be moving. Getting up out of bed, walking across your house. Your body is meant to move, period. You do not want to be sedentary. If you remain sedentary, then inflammation will go up, your blood sugar will go up, and you're giving cancer an opportunity to come. Please do not overcomplicate this. Just start with something. For example, this morning, I went for a 10-minute walk. This is especially powerful if you can do this immediately following your breakfast. The last thing I add into my morning routine is to get outside. Sunshine and fresh air is critical to our functioning and our sleep patterns. You are meant to be exposed to the elements. This helps to reduce cortisol levels, to reduce stress levels, and this is going to set up your entire day to be more peaceful. Okay, so let's move on to my supplement routine. As an 8-year cancer survivor, this has definitely shifted over the past 8 years. But here's what I'm currently taking to help stay cancer-free. The first is very basic, but it's very important. Vitamin D. We know that women who have lower vitamin D levels, they're actually at a higher risk of having a cancer recurrence. The unfortunate truth is that many women are actually low in vitamin D levels. This is so simple. You can go to your regular doctor and have a vitamin D level drawn with your regular blood work. If this is not something that your oncologist has investigated, then this is something you need to take on yourself. If your vitamin D levels are low, then you need to start supplementing. The amount of supplementation depends on your serum vitamin D levels, what shows up in your blood work. Or you might need a smaller dose if you're slightly deficient. For me, I take 2,000 international units every day. The next supplement I use is turmeric latte powder. Now, turmeric is known for its anti-cancer potential. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. However, in the past, I've been challenged with taking different types of turmeric supplements. The turmeric latte powder is something that I really enjoy, and I work this in as part of my nighttime routine. Now, it's not for everyone, but this is one that I personally really do love. I'll link it up below so you can check it out. The next supplement that I use is a vitamin B complex. After cancer, I had extremely low energy levels. I was really tired. I mean, like exhausted. It took a long time for me to figure out that my nutrition was really dictating my energy levels. Once I figured out how to optimize my nutrition, my energy levels almost completely came back. But part of that was supplementing with a vitamin B complex. Vitamin B has long been known to improve energy levels. This is so simple and it's easy to take. Vitamin B is also water soluble, which means if you get too much of this vitamin, you just pee it out. There's really no toxic effects. The next supplement is so powerful. I recommend it to almost every cancer survivor I work with. Creatine. During cancer treatment, you lose so much muscle mass. I mean, surgeries, treatments, it really impacts your fat to muscle ratio. You probably felt it yourself even as you got towards the end of your treatments. So when you get to the other side, it's all about building muscle mass. I mean, look, if God forbid you get into a place where you do have a cancer recurrence, you want to make sure you you have the most muscle mass possible to get yourself through that next phase of treatment. In order to do that, you need to start now. But there's actually more to it than that. You need to pay attention to your muscle mass as you age. As we grow older, we lose muscle mass. This is not good. If you want to grow old and be an itty bitty grandma or grandpa, then you need to protect your muscle mass. To do this, we need two parts. The first is strength training, and the second is taking creatine. Now, ideally, you couple this with proper nutrition. Now, creatine is overwhelmingly safe. It has been studied extensively in a variety of different types of patients. I'll link up the creatine I like below. And the last supplement that's part of my routine is Berberine. Berberine has been widely studied among people with cancer. It was originally found to be helpful in terms of cholesterol, but over recent years, it's been found that Berberine is also useful for cancer survivors. It helps to protect against breast cancer, blood cancer, ovarian cancer, colorectal cancer, and lung cancer. I'll link up the one that I use below. Okay, but on to the next very important part that I use to be cancer-free. You've probably heard this before, but we need to dive into this even deeper. When I ask a cancer survivor what they think caused their cancer, here's what the majority of people say to me. Many people believe that their cancer was caused by stress. In my case, I tend to believe that this was a contributing factor as well. So now that you've been diagnosed, you need to take strategic steps to reduce your stress level. But it's easier said than done. But you need to be willing to be extreme if you truly want to prevent a cancer recurrence. For me, this meant switching career paths, dedicating myself to therapy, resigning from volunteer positions, and being very selective about the relationships that I maintain. The process was not easy. Absolutely not. But I can truly say that I am the happiest version of myself now after cancer. My stress levels are the lowest they've ever been. Arriving at this place feels truly amazing. To do this, I would suggest starting with a not to-do list. This is the opposite of a to-do list. Instead of writing down all the things that you need to do, I want you to write down all the things that you do not want to do. Sometimes it's easier to identify the things that are really driving you crazy or making you unhappy. You want to live, so start there. Plus, you need to hold yourself accountable to that not to-do list. This is a process. It's not going to happen overnight. It's an evolution over years. The next thing that I do to stay cancer-free is maintain an exercise routine. We all know the importance of exercise, but we also know that only 4% of cancer survivors are actually hitting target exercise levels. You can reduce your risk of a cancer recurrence by up to 59% just through targeted exercise levels. This is completely within your control. Targeted exercise has two pieces: low intensity cardio and strength training. Low intensity cardio can be anything like walking or biking or swimming or hiking. You do not need to be dripping with sweat. You just need to be moving. For many of my clients, it's useful to conceptualize this as minutes walked per day. We know that the optimal amount of low intensity exercise for a cancer survivor to prevent cancer recurrence is to walk 300 minutes per week. That's about 42 minutes a day. Taking a 40-minute walk every day to lower your cancer risk by 59%, that seems worth it. The second piece to targeted exercise is strength training. You need strength training at least 2 times per week for 20 minutes a day. This should be focusing on all the major muscle groups. Now, strength training can take various forms. If you've never done it before, then it's best to start with your body weight. That's still strength training. Body weight squats, body weight lunges, those are extremely effective. Once you've mastered body weight strength training, then you want to progress to resistance bands or dumbbells and then progress to barbells. The beauty behind strength training is that it needs to be progressive. Many of the clients that I work with come to me having the same strength training routine week after week, month after month, year after year. It's the same routine, same weights, nothing changes. But this is not progressive strength training. If you're always reaching for the same weight, then you need to consider going higher. If you can't go higher in weight, then you need to consider doing different exercises. Your body is dynamic and you need to be continuously dynamic in your strength training as well. Now, here's an important piece to strength training for cancer risk reduction. This is mindset. This is something you get to do, not something you have to do. Every time you think, I don't want to work out, I don't feel like it. I want you to think back to when you were at your lowest, post-surgery, post-chemo, and think about how much you would have given to feel the way you do now. Then get up and go do it. And of course, the last thing that I absolutely did to get to cancer-free and stay cancer-free was chemo and surgery. This is a critical piece to my cancer remission plan. Many people think that you either have to go conventional medicine or holistic medicine. Like you have to pick one or the other, pick a camp. For me, I wanted to use any strategy that was gonna help me get to cancer-free and stay cancer-free. I knew that surgery was needed and I knew that chemo works. These strategies saved my life, but it was also very intentional about including a holistic strategy. We cannot negate the importance of proper nutrition, targeted exercise, and mindset work. These are proven to be effective. You need all of this. Okay, now that you know everything that I did to beat cancer, the next step is to know the potential root cause of your cancer diagnosis. That's why I'm linking up this next video for you here. Click the link here and I'll see you in the next video.